Hi friends and family, welcome to 2025. Hope you've been having a wonderful winter. It's been fairly quiet here, but we've got some exciting things in store for you this year, starting with our March Wine Club release. We're going to be doing the Pinot family of wines. Come with me while we find our winemaker and taste through this vintage of wines. Walking up to the production building. It has been a nice winter here in the Finger Lakes, a typical winter. So temperatures have been maintained. The vines are nice and nestled underneath the ground there, so they're protected. They're not coming out. We haven't had any warm bursts of air or anything like that, so it's a good winter. I know we don't probably enjoy it so much, but the vines enjoy it. This is normal for them. We want to keep them under the ground, nice and quiet. I'm gonna go up here and see Peter. Into the production building we go. Gonna find out, we're getting ready to bottle some Devonian Red tomorrow. So Peter's been working busy on the bottling line. We're gonna switch our camera around. Oops, there he is, hard at work. I'm gonna interrupt it. Hang on while I figure out how to turn my camera around. All right, we found Peter. I'm restarting my video.
Hi.
There's Peter.
Yeah.
Busy at work, making some notes. He's gonna take us through the Pinot Gris that is in the March Wine Club shipment.
Sure.
We've decided to show you the Pinot family of wines in March. We've got some in the cool room. Tell us a little bit about the Pinot of wines.
Pinot is one genetic family, and they derive from one ancient grape. That grape, I don't know, but there are many different members of that family. So we know Pinot Noir, we know Pinot Gris, and we know Pinot Blanc. There's also Pinot Meunier, and there's a couple of other Pinot siblings. And they're all derived from Pinot Noir, and they're mutations of each other. And so they share the same DNA, but they look a little different, and they act a little different. And at Anthony Road, we make we use 3 of those grapes to make a whole assortment of wines. Pinot Noir, also known as Pinot Nero and Spätburgunder around the world. The Pinot name is supposed to be derived from the word for pine cone in French, and that's just to denote the way that the clusters look. They're kind of tight and bunched and kind of smaller, and I guess they look like a pine cone.
Sure.
Yep. So Pinot Noir, that's Pinot. If we were to do this strictly in terms of in English, maybe it would be defined as pinecone black. And then, but we'll go with the French name because this is where this grape comes from France, from Burgundy. And then one of the first mutations of the Pinot Noir grape was Pinot Gris, and Gris refers to gray. It's also known as Pinot Grigio in Italy, and a Weiss Grauburgunder in Germany. That's got a ring to it, and we call it Pinot Gris. Then we have two versions, actually 3 versions in some of the wine clubs here, depending on your status within that club. We have a library wine from 17. We have our regular stainless steel fermented Pinot Gris from 23, and then barrel ferment Pinot Gris from 23. And then another member of the Pinot family that we've been making wines from for the past couple years, 3 or 4 years, is Pinot Blanc. And Pinot Blanc is also known as Pinot Bianco in Italy and Weissburgunder in Germany. And here we call it Pinot Blanc. They make different wines, and the only one that makes a red wine is the Pinot Noir.
Let's start with the Pinot Noir and the Pinot Blanc if we can, just because those are in the Friends Club.
Great.
So Friends Club will be getting the Pinot Noir and the Pinot Blanc. Both of these are 2023 vintages. So new releases for these wines.
Yes. First of all, the 23 vintage was a very nice vintage. Really great growing season. And the wines from that vintage reflect that. There's a richness to them. There's a ripeness to the fruit. The acidities are still nice and balanced, but they're not too crazy zingy. You know, they're really balanced, and they've created some really nice wines. Pinot Noir, Pinot Noir is the lightest of the red grapes. It makes the lightest style. Traditionally, and not to say that you can't find bigger examples, especially from warmer places. It's a grape that's grown all over the world. Almost every region can grow it and or wants to grow it, but it's hard to maintain in the vineyard, right? It takes a lot of work. So, and because of that, you can see maybe prices reflect that in the marketplace. I think ours is, it should be, pretty much where it's a steal. All of these are a steal. So the 23 Pinot Noir. This is a grape that we make a red wine from, but we also use it to make sparkling wine, our Blanc de Noir. So you can see there's a nice ruby color to it. You should be able to, with Pinot Noir, you should be able to read through it, right? You should be able to hold it up to something, and you should be able to read through it, right? It's not a really dense, dark wine, but that doesn't mean that it can't have a big impact, right? Fruits that you'll typically get are cherry, strawberry. It also has a lot of earthy components, smoke, soil, herbs, smells of mushroom and forest. So it's pretty enchanting, and it because it's not so big, full-bodied, and the alcohol stay pretty reasonable. It's very versatile to go with a whole host of foods. And yeah.
Spit bucket.
Yep, the drain. That's what we do here in the cellar. We taste, we don't drink. Because if we did drink, then we could be potentially blotto by coffee time. So the tannins are light, but there is some nice grip to it. Really, there's a lot of length to it. There's the acidity in there really freshens the mouth. It's a pretty nice one. All right, so Pinot Blanc. This comes from, both of these wines actually, I think, came from fruit from our Nut Road vineyard. And we do have Pinot at our Martini family vineyard, but I believe that was all Nut Road fruit. This is coming from the Nut Road vineyard, And the Pinot Blanc is of all of them, is one that maybe isn't the most showy, but I think it can be one of the most rewarding. And what do I mean by that? Well, aromatically, there's a lightness to it, a freshness to it, floral components, very light. It's not, you're not gonna put your nose in here and it's gonna be like boof, right? Like maybe some of the Pinot Gris. But it's one that is a little bit more tame, and it sort of lingers along with you. It's more like the cat, your house pet. You know, you have the cat that brushes against you and then does its own thing and then comes back and sits in your lap, as opposed to the dog that is like can't stop chasing you, right? And needs your attention constantly and needs to know what to do, right? Pinot Blanc is more like the cat. Typical aromas are apples, pears, white floral kind of orchard blossom fruit, and the interesting hint of like almond, maybe a little marzipan or even crushed almonds, which is pretty unique. This one also I get like a beeswax or a honeyed character to it. For a wine that has a lighter expression from a richer vineyard, though, it's really showing a lot more right now. I'm really pleased with this one. This is predominantly stainless steel ferment, but we did have barrel fermentation that went into it. It would have been one of these barrels, these larger barrels. So I'm really pleased with this one. I like to drink this style of wine at home. And you can find great examples from Alsace and Germany and northern Italy. It's grown up in Canada and Ontario, all throughout the world. This is probably one of the better ones that we've made here. So excited about that.
Let's go Pinot Gris.
Gris.
Next.
All right.
So Pinot Noir, Pinot Blanc, and the Friends Club.
Yeah.
And then family gets the 2023 barrel ferment Pinot Gris.
Yeah.
And the 2023 stainless steel ferment Pinot Gris.
Got it. Okay, so Pinot Gris. Pinot Gris is a wine that I think Anthony Road has a reputation for. We make, I think, in my opinion, one of the best Pinot Gris in the Finger Lakes.
I second that.
Yeah, and it's also a grape that has a lot of versatility, and we push that in a lot of directions. Fully ripened on the vine, it could be mistaken for a red grape. It's purplish, fully ripened, reddish to purplish. They say it has sort of a grayish tint to it, and that may be why they call it gris, which is gray in French. It also may be because it's in between black and white, the Blanc and the Noir, and that could be the name where that comes from. Our standard Pinot Gris is a stainless steel fermented wine, and this is just pure fruit expression, right? The Pinot Gris fruit, whereas the Pinot Gris or the Pinot Blanc has a lot of nuance and subtlety. This can be a bit bolder, lusher. It can just like Pinot Blanc have floral components, ripe pear, apple, citrus, even some years melon in the riper years. This would be one of those riper years. I think it's showing right off the bat. This is the current release. It's been very well received, very popular. I have ran into a neighbor who is a longtime supporter of the winery, and she told me today that she was coming back for another case. This is the house wine. Yeah, even like tree fruit, like stone fruit, nectarines, a little bit of apricot. There's a lot going on there. And just like the Pinot Blanc, there's a honeyed note to it as well, which is just really, really light. It's not oppressive. It's more like those little flowers that you would pick the buds out. What are they?
Honeysuckles?
Yes, thanks. Honeysuckles.
What would you pair that with? What meal? What would you eat?
This fish, chicken, whether any preparation of chicken, from fried to baked, definitely even like tacos. It's not sweet, but there's a richness, a ripeness to the fruit, and perfect on its own. Yeah. Okay, then the barrel ferment Pinot Gris, 2023. So the history of these two wines, they're born in the same place, and then they just grow up in different neighborhoods, right? So it's the same fruit, but this one's fermented in the oak. This one's fermented in stainless steel. Stainless steel is a cleaner, more reductive, sterile environment, whereas the barrel is a little bit more organic, earthy, woodsy, and that translates into the different wines. It's fermented in these large format barrels over here. You can see this vintage's barrels are fermenting there, and so the resulting wine is still going to be there still will be fruit there, but this one's a little bit more granola, right? More noodly, a little bit more hippie-ish. It wears open-toed Birkenstocks, whereas these guys wear some tennis sneakers, right? So with that, you're going to get more aromas that are earthier. Mushroom, honey, spice, baking spice, wood spice. You get, instead of that fresh, ripe pear and apple, maybe this is more, the fruit is a little bit more baked. Dessert, although it's not sweet, it's actually drier than the other one. And because it's aged in wood, there's a bit more texture on the palate, more, as we call, tannin, and that just creates a bit more mouthfeel. And this is a wine that I would pair with earthier kind of dishes. It could stand up to any sort of bean dish. It could stand up to roasted pork. Chicken, you could be brave and put it up with a steak. I'm not saying that's perfect, but I'm not saying it's wrong. But it's definitely more, really is going to show itself off at the table with food, more so than, this one may be a little bit more versatile to cooking and then introducing into the meal, right? So, or on the table, or on the couch. They both can age a long time. All of these wines can age a long time. I do find that the barrel ferment actually benefits from just kind of forgetting about it in your cellar or your basement or wherever you put these. Although it's ready to drink now and you're going to get it, so once it's yours, you do what you will. But we'll taste the 17 next, and this is one that has some age to it, and I think they just they evolve, and they do get better with time.
So family, you're going to get the Pinot Gris, 2023 stainless steel Pinot Gris, the 2023 barrel ferment Pinot Gris, the Pinot Blanc, and the Pinot Noir. Passion Club, you are going to also get the 2017 barrel ferment Pinot Gris.
Yeah, this is exciting. This is exciting. I remember not too long ago, we did a tasting with winemakers from Michigan, and we did a swap of wines, and we actually not too long ago, it was during the pandemic, that was a while ago, when everything was Zoomed. This was one of the wines that we exchanged, and one of the feedback when they got to this wine from one of the winemakers who had made wine in Oregon as well, where a lot of Pinot Gris is grown, and had worked in France. His feedback on this one was, this is the best Pinot Gris he's ever tasted. So we'll take that.
You can see the colors.
Yeah, so you can see the color, and the color in the barrel ferment is going to be darker than the stainless steel, but also as the wine ages, white wines get darker and red wines get lighter. So, yeah, this is very interesting. So you still get some of the mushroom and the woodsy character, but there is a lot of candied citrus peel, orange, lemon. There's and floral and persimmon. Swallow that one. Yeah, and spice. And when I say spice, it's not like hot spice. It's not hot peppers. It's cinnamons and nutmegs and star anise, those kind of spices. The sweeter spices, and nice length to it. It's a rich style, and probably I could see this wine, the 23, moving in the same trajectory as this one. This one's showing very nicely, and for an aged wine, it still has time to evolve in the bottle. But for those that are getting this one, you can open it now. I think this is at a really optimum, perfect spot to drink. I think when you look back at where you may be today, whatever age you are, there's probably a certain time in your life that you might feel was the prime, and it's probably not when you were 2 years old, right? It's probably maybe a little later, after a little bit more experience, and so that's kind of like with wines too. They get into their zone where they're really showing their true potential, usually a little further down the line.
Fantastic. Thanks, Peter.
Sure.
So, Passion Club, you also get that 2017 barrel ferment Pinot Gris. Exciting things to look forward to, my friends. All right, welcome back. Thanks everybody for listening to Peter talk about the Pinot Gris family of wines and what you'll be getting in your March Wine Club shipment. I'm gonna head back down to the tasting room and get all this ready for you folks. Can't wait to see you in March. As many of you know, Natalie Carroll took a job at Hobart and William Smith in December. And so the family is kind of taken over the wine club. So you'll meet us. I mean, you've met most of us. I'm Sarah. I'm the eldest daughter. I'm also the general manager here at Anthony Road. So Liz and I are kind of running the show, and things might be a little shaky at first. If we make a mistake, don't be afraid to call us out. If you have a question, please let us know. We're here to help you, and we look forward to seeing you all in March. And maybe we'll have some warmer weather by then, but I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying the snow. I love getting outside this time of year and skiing, snowshoeing, playing in the snow, letting my dog run around. So, cheers to you all, and thanks for being with us. Bye.